What's up, everybody? Justin here to do a new countdown video on this Friday. Hope you're having a good weekend, or hope you had a good Thanksgiving and you have a good weekend. It's a new countdown show. I'm actually watching some Stardom. Stardom is a women's company in Japan. There's no commentary, but I don't care. I don't need commentary. A lot of good action, man. A lot of good women's wrestling. Here it is to hear some of it. A lot of it is screaming, yelling, but because they're really hitting each other pretty damn hard. And they're all these Japanese women. Maybe they're not all Japanese, but the women of Stardom, they're very good workers. Very quick too. I mean, they're super quick. The moves they hit, they had like 5 moves in like 10 seconds. So this is a new countdown. Top 5 most edgy storylines. Top 5 most edgy storylines, in my opinion. You got your own top 5 most edgy storylines. Well, leave them in the comments. I would like to read them. Or give them to me on Twitter. At WWE NXT Guy. Tweet me your top 5 most edgy storylines. Number 5. Let me just open this soda, because I'm thirsty. So number 5 is the Vince McMahon, Linda McMahon in 2001. First, Vince on SmackDown, he started it. He tells Linda, I want a divorce. That's what he said. He goes, I want a divorce. And Linda's in shock. Maybe it was the end of 2000. He told her this. I know it's on SmackDown. So he goes, I want a divorce. And then Linda runs out of the ring upset. It was pretty damn funny. Obviously, they weren't getting divorced. It was a storyline. So then in 2001, Vince was pushing Linda around in a wheelchair and he started cheating on her. On TV, Vince's mistress, of course, he had to pick one of the hottest women of the roster. His mistress that he was cheating on in front of Linda was Trish Stratus. On SmackDown, Trish started pushing Linda around in a wheelchair. This was around Royal Rumble 2001. Around Royal Rumble 2001 time. Hair's all screwed up. Who cares? Anyways, I remember at the Royal Rumble, Stephanie comes out and Trish. They both got involved because Trish came down to the ring with Kurt Angle, who was defending the WWF title against Triple H, and Stephanie came out with Triple H. So, Stephanie and Trish already started a feud. They would actually have a pretty good match at No Way Out 2001. And then, of course, as I said, Trish was pushing Linda around in the wheelchair, and she was like totally drugged up on a lot of medication, a lot of drugs. It was never explained why, but she looked drugged up. She was sitting in a wheelchair like this. And she wouldn't talk, she wouldn't do anything. So she had to be drugged up, in my opinion. I don't know what she's on, depression medication, because Vince asked for a divorce. I don't know. But she's basically like in a coma, but she's still alive. So in front of Linda, again on SmackDown, in front of Linda, she was in a wheelchair on the stage, top of the ramp. Vince pulls Trish in front of him, right in front of Linda, and makes out with her. That was pretty damn edgy, right in front of Linda. So that is an edgy storyline in my opinion. It's number 5. The Linda, Vince, Trish, Stephanie feud and storyline. And then at WrestleMania 17, Linda would stand up. She would actually stand up in her wheelchair. She gets in the ring and the crowd is marking out. The crowd's on their feet, and Linda kicks Vince in the nuts and costs him the match against Shane. That was pretty funny. And then Stephanie comes out and slaps Trish, and Vince, I guess, turned on Trish at the same time. Anyways, that was a pretty edgy storyline because it was still like the Attitude Era, in my opinion, in 2001. Kind of still the Attitude Era. And Vince making out with Trish in front of Linda in a wheelchair, that's pretty edgy. It didn't bother me at all, but it was pretty edgy. Number 4 of this top 5 most edgy storylines. Number 4 would be Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy's feud in 2009, and they had a WrestleMania 25 match. I didn't like their... I mean, it was edgy, but I don't like seeing real brothers. I don't like seeing real brothers feud. I just don't. I don't know why. But it was pretty edgy. Number 4, the Hardys feud leading up to WrestleMania 25. Number 3. This was, even for the Attitude Era, it was pretty edgy. The Kane Undertaker storyline, Paul Bearer was involved, telling Undertaker, your brother's alive. Kane is alive. Kane is alive. Undertaker getting really pissed, slapping Paul Bearer, saying, you're a liar. You're a liar. Nobody knew what Paul Bearer was talking about. But he said Kane was alive and he's coming. He is coming. And it got pretty edgy. Because in 1998, at the Royal Rumble, building up to the WrestleMania 14 match, Undertaker kept saying, I will not fight my brother. I will never fight Kane. Never. But at the Royal Rumble 98, Kane chokeslams Undertaker in the casket. It was a casket match. Undertaker against Shawn Michaels. Also, a side note. Shawn Michaels did a backdrop over the top and thought he could go over the casket, I guess, and land on his feet. I guess he thought he wouldn't hit the casket. Shawn Michaels does a backdrop, and his lower back hits the edge of the casket. That really had to hurt. And of course, I think the next day, he couldn't even get out of bed. He couldn't even move to get out of bed. He thought his career was over. Suffered a really bad back injury, and from that, he needed back surgery. Somehow, Shawn Michaels, guy was probably on a lot of painkillers, but somehow, the guy still competed at WrestleMania 14 and dropped the title to Stone Cold. But anyways, Kane locks Undertaker and Paul Bearer. They put a padlock on the casket. They roll it to the entrance, and they set it on. Kane sets it on fire. I'll never forget it. I was 14 at the time. I was pretty shocked. I was like, well, he's obviously not burning for real, because that'd be murder. And the WWF as a company would not kill The Undertaker for real. That'd be one of the dumbest things ever. Yeah, let's murder one of our top stars. No wrestling companies would ever murder one of their own wrestlers. But as a storyline, it was edgy. I saw the casket get lit on fire. I was like, damn, that's insane. That is insane. And then, I'll never forget, I believe JR was screaming, "The casket's on fire! The casket's on fire!" It was damn good. It was, well, really well done. So number 2. Oh, this was edgy, but not in a good way. Vince McMahon in a match against his own daughter on pay-per-view in 2003. No Mercy. That was edgy. That was kind of crossing the line, in my opinion. No fan, I didn't want to see it. I mean, I was entertained by it, and Vince, Mr. McMahon, got a ton of heat. Vince got a ton of heat for it. So much heat. But 2003 No Mercy. Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon against his own daughter Stephanie. In a match. Not a good idea. Was it edgy? Yes, it was. But that's too edgy. So anyways, number one would be most edgy storylines. Number 1 would be 2011. It happened in TNA, Impact Wrestling. Number 1 would be the Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, Kurt Angle feud in storyline. Because it was real. It was real. Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, I don't know which one cheated. Karen Angle, I guess, cheated on Kurt Angle. And possibly Jeff Jarrett could have made, or I don't know. Maybe Jeff Jarrett had a lot to do with it. But Karen Angle probably wasn't happy. She was still married to Kurt. She cheated on Kurt Angle. Jeff Jarrett wasn't married. Sadly, his first wife passed away from cancer. But anyways, this was real. As real as it gets. And they brought the storyline to TV. But Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, they had a match against all odds. I think it was against all odds. 2011 pay-per-view. And they're both professionals because they both worked together and had a pretty good match. But that was edgy. Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, Kurt Angle in a storyline after Karen leaves Kurt Angle. And then after that, after Karen left them, Jeff and Karen were dating, and then they eventually got married. Jeff Jarrett, I guess the guy has substance abuse problems, alcohol problem. I don't know what his problem is. But he did go to WWE's rehab. They paid for it. Jeff Jarrett decided he needed it. So good for him. I hope Jeff Jarrett gets clean and sober. Obviously, the guy had a problem. He showed up at Triple Mania in Mexico, their biggest show. He showed up there, and a lot of people said he was messed up and drunk. I don't know if he's drunk during his match, but backstage they said he showed up messed up. I don't know if that's true. But then at an indie show where he was hired to show up, he showed up and he was passed out drunk before his match. Not good. So number 1 again. Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, Kurt Angle storyline in 2011, I think that's the year. Hope you enjoyed this new countdown top 5 most edgy storylines. I was going to add Katie Vick storyline, the Kane, Triple H, Katie Vick storyline from 2002 before No Mercy, but no. Because that wasn't a good, edgy storyline. That was garbage. That was shit. That was an embarrassment. That was a disgrace. That was like Vince slapping every fan in the face, thinking we wanted to see that crap. We wanted to see Triple H as Kane climb in a casket and act like he's fucking a dead corpse. No, thank you. That necrophilia, that crap, that never ever belongs in pro wrestling. That's not entertainment. That's not funny. That's not good entertainment. That's crap. That's garbage. That is absolute shit. I don't know what the hell Vince McMahon was on or what he was smoking to come up with that storyline with Katie Vick. That was a bad idea. One of the worst things that WWE has ever done is a Katie Vick storyline. Ever. That's the worst thing they've ever done in their history, in my opinion. Hope you enjoyed this countdown. Top 5 most edgy storylines or feuds, whatever you want to call it. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.